This time lots of stuff happens. Jomon fights with Ulm, so not Bogarus. Ulm and Bogarus have just deceptively similar flags, so I got confused. Then there's fight with Pangea. Apparently already opened up the war against Xibalba, but first look, the losses seem quite similar. Let's take a look directly into the battle. Yes, there are a bunch of arrows, but the centaur cataphracts are quite hardy and can take it, and now the war is on. Well, doesn't look like a bunch of, let's say, simple dudes with sticks can withstand the centaurs for long. And as soon as they are through, that was it. But it was not a bad tactic, because as long as those really cheap troops are in the way, the crossbowmen in the back have more time to attack, which is why Pangea brought those winged damsels. They immediately flew over and started attacking the crossbowmen. So obviously this means some of them can't shoot, which gives the cataphracts more time to break through. Stymphalian birds. Now they're quite nasty. They have low morale, however, so they're only usable because they're really cheap, and flyers. Cheap flyers with multiple attacks can easily be used to overwhelm some poor bastard who didn't take this into account and then sees all his mages die. While I was talking, the cataphracts have reached the next line of defense, some kind of frog people units Xibalba has. They're not flyers, so normally not a good idea to mix them with flyers, but I guess you can't always have the ideal composition you have in mind. I mean, this army uses crossbows, so the advantage of flying is already destroyed, so having even more people who can't fly doesn't really degrade this army. And the cataphracts are hammering into the crossbowmen. Now it's on, the decisive battle. The Pangea's cataphracts are vastly outnumbered, but luckily he didn't do the stupid thing like I do often and puts them all into the same squad, so he gets a couple extra turns before they all run away. So as you can see, Xibalba, even by taking a lot of losses, forced Pangea back simply by using a mixture of good positioning and crossbows. That's some nice tactics. Jomon, on the other hand, had to deal with some troglodytes coming out of a cave and getting beaten pretty much immediately. Sometimes you just want province defense because of shit like this. You never know when some random number generator suddenly remembers that he has to be evil and sends you some little surprises to keep things fresh. And then if you've forgotten to secure your province with at least some dudes, let's say that will be something you won't forget. You're still waiting on this 1-4 here, and Jomon has taken the province. They bought from me unexpectedly, so what? Ah yes, research. Last turn you saw me starting to forge owl quills. Owl quills give bonus points to research and are cheap to make as long as you have enough airgams. Basically my idea here is to forge some of them until I've run out of air gems, since I don't plan on using much air magic in this game, and then use the owl quills to boost the research capacity of my astral / nature / lizard mages. That way, since they are meant to stand around for pretty much most of the game, they can do some extra research. And then I am boosting my research even further, so I can get better construction magic and can forge better stuff. There is one thing I want to forge, and it needs lots of depth, which late age Calum, luckily me, has a lot of. And as soon as I get to construction 6, I can churn them out. Right now I'm collecting the death gems, the dark purple ones up there under the name of my pretender, to forge them. And believe me, for my future plans I need a lot of death gems. Anyway, here there is a little army I have prepared. A storm general leading a mass of troops, a caretaker to bless my death arrowman, and some random guy I just have because why not. Then lots of troop movements. The more units and leaders you have, the more troublesome this gets, but well, what can you do? The further along you get in Dominions 4, the longer a turn gets, because you have to deal with more and more shit. And this is basically still the early game. We haven't even had our first war with another player yet. Have just eaten all the independent stuff between us, used diplomacy to preserve my borders, and made future plans, and that's basically it. And enough of future plans. In the east you just saw a glimpse of me, yes, here, my scouts reaching the war zone, and you even see the province where Xibalban had their first victory. But Xibalban isn't winning everywhere. Pangaea successfully got troops on 2 of Xibalban's fortresses, which locks them down. You can still research and summon stuff with magic gems, but you can't search for magic sites, and you can't recruit units, and of course you can't move out of the castle without confronting the army besieging it. So yeah, it's kind of obvious, but getting sieged is not good. So this ongoing redeployment was basically meant just in case Xibalban gets antsy and attacks, or just in case I suddenly decide to include myself in this 3-way war and attack. And in the case I wanted to attack, I of course needed some local armies. Meanwhile, in the capital I've started to recruit my most powerful mages. They're one of those annoying, you can only recruit one every 2 turn guys. So their recruitment will go very slowly. On the other hand, I can recruit my other mages in my other fortresses, and I soon have enough to recruit mages, a couple priests, and new leaders for my armies, and still have my capital to recruit my expensive, slow to recruit capital mages. All for my future plans. So there's a lot of movement here, mages going here and there, and my armies moving to the east to both protect the fortress I'm still building at the border to Xibalban, and to prepare just in case I start going with the flow. Of course, in the future, when I don't have mammoths and other slow units to drag around, I don't actually have to have all my troops on the border, and can instead have them in some other fort, a couple provinces away. And boy, I wish it was already time for this, But alas, it's still music for the future, I guess. Wow, that's a lot of red crosses. You may have noticed grey crosses are stealth units and red crosses are normal units, just in case you were wondering. I think I never actually mentioned this fact before. Anyway, majors are getting recruited here and now over there. 2 4s will soon be finished, and I'm thinking of making yet another 4 close to the middle, to that middle fortress of Yomons, or I just take it over later. Decisions. Well, that stuff can wait for the next episode. Libluini out.